So we're going to start off today by sonicating, or kind of, we're going not really sonicating, we're going to use a tissue grinder to break apart the cells in there and make sure that it is indeed all a nice, smooth, homogeneous extract, and it doesn't have a lot of waste, a lot of insoluble material left behind. And so for this one, we took them out of the freezer. They're still pretty frozen. They're just a little bit thawed, partially thawed. And that helps because anytime you use any kind of tissue grinder or sonicator, it produces heat in the sample, and that itself can cause the proteins to start to degrade. And all you're doing is essentially just for 5 seconds for each sample, you're going to be mixing them up with this grinder, and you saw how it got all frothy because it's breaking up any clumps that are there and mixing it up really well. Now, in between each sample, you would need to clean the tip. This is reusable, so don't do that. You can do it, but you don't want to do it up here because then you see how it falls, but you can go all the way down, make sure it's clean. What's in here is actually alcohol, so it's going to go away really quickly, and it's going to dry out, and you'll be able to reuse it right away. And then you repeat with the second sample. And I'm going to put it away. Give it a second to air dry. And repeat the process with all your samples. Too much froth. So it's good. We only have like 100 microliter in there, right? And we have 1.5 ml tubes. So it's okay when they're frothy because they're not going to jump out and lose any sample. The smaller ones actually aren't really good anyway because this tip doesn't go in. The other one that I have is smaller. You can get them in various thickness. It's very thin, so you can actually use them even in smaller tubes. Plus, it's stronger, so it actually works a little bit better. So yeah, so you want them thawed enough that it gets, all mixed up and broken up, but not, completely thawed. And you don't want them completely frozen because then it's not going to really do anything. Immediately on ice afterwards. Some people actually, with some samples or some proteins that are super sensitive to degradation, if you're looking at them, some people even like to do this step on ice. So they'll have a beaker of ice that they put their sample on and then go in and do it. So after this, these samples are going to be centrifuged to remove any debris and any particulate matter. And then the samples will be ready for the next step. Okay, so after we finish sonication or disrupting the cells, we are going to centrifuge them at the highest speed. It's better if you have a refrigerated centrifuge so it can still stay at 4 degrees. If not, it's okay. We are only going to be centrifuging them for 3 minutes at 14,000 RPM. You can go whatever the highest speed is, 10,000, 12,000, it's all good. Because there are no cells in there anymore. And if there are, we want them ruptured anyway. So it doesn't matter what centrifugal force as such. We want to make sure we remove all the particulate matter that is left behind in the tubes after this whole process is finished, after everything that can be extracted and solubilized in our extraction buffer, in the cell extraction buffer, has worked. It's magic. I always put them in the same order that I've been keeping them just to make sure that I don't miss any tube and I don't lose anything. Okay, with the centrifuge, it's very important to make sure that you set it up correctly, and that means keeping them balanced. So you should always have tubes with same volume against each other, so it's always balanced, otherwise it won't run properly or it won't run at all. Another tip is to always keep the hinges either out or in and be consistent about it. That way, any pellet, no matter how small it is, even if it's not visible, if it's something you need, you know where to find it. It's always going to be on the outer side, on the outer wall of your tube, whichever the outer wall was. And then you tighten the lid, make sure it is secure, close it, and then you can set it up in RPM or in Gs or RCF, depending on how your protocol tells you to do it. You can switch them usually from a button, and then you can set it up to 3 to 5 minutes. I'm actually just going to do 3 minutes. It shouldn't have a lot of material. If you think it's going to be a lot of material, then you can, that's insoluble, then you can set it up for 5 minutes to make sure you get everything. So this is done. I started them, put them in order, so now I can just put them back in order and call it a day. Straight on ice as soon as they get out. But if you look at them, you see there's a tiniest little pellet at the bottom. It's not very big. Most of the stuff is solubilized, and that's great. You see the pellet?
Yeah.
Cool. That works. Every single one, when you look at it, there's going to be a tiny, tiny little pellet. So now that we have our proteins done, we are going to go through and take half of the extract, and we are going to put that in the freezer as backup for future use while we work with the rest of it for this week's experimentation with the quantification and Western blots. So they are going to be in the same order as before. I'm just taking, we had another set of color-coded tubes already prepared, pre-labeled, and I'm just going to transfer half of it in each. So I'm taking about 60 microliter in here, and we're going to put that on ice as we do it. You want to make sure when you do it not to take the pellet with you. That's the only thing. So I just take it from the top, and that's it.